The term agent provocateur, what does it provoke in your mind?
Agent Provocateur is the most erotic lingerie in the world. And with your help, we can prove it.
Well, thank you, Kylie. That was certainly very interesting. And distractive value, there is certainly some there. But that wasn't exactly what I was talking about. I was talking about something a little bit more like...
It is Saturday afternoon, and there are as many as 200,000 people marching on Genoa against the G8. It is not a combative march. As they swing onto the seafront, a group of agents provocateurs began throwing stones at police. These are undercover cops, or secret police, or mercenaries, or Nazis. They are used by the police the same way the paramilitaries are used by the state in Chavez or Belfast, or even how they used them in Italy in the 1970s. The police want to pick the time and place of the confrontation. They are ready and prepared.
Genova G8, 2001. Okay, very violent protest caused by a group called Black Bloc. Black Bloc. Who are they? Who were they? Where did they go? Phantom organization. Several thousand people armed with Molotov cocktails and iron bars, etc. How did they get them into the center of Geneva? Very good question, considering the tight police controls which sent many unarmed, genuine protesters home, okay, stopping them on the trains. These people apparently came from all over Europe. There were very tight controls for that Geneva event, as you can see by the preparation of the Italian police. They had something like 200 body bags just in case, so they were expecting trouble. Agent provocateur tactics. Let's not be naive in believing that our governments act always in good faith and in the faith of the people, for the good of the people. It's not true. It's just not true. They have their policies and their agendas. If we take the agenda of nuclear power of Margaret Thatcher in the 80s, we will see the closure of the mines caused the miners to strike. They used a tactic called the flying picket, which was basically they would communicate amongst themselves, and miners from closed mines, okay, who had already lost their jobs, would come to one particular mine and stand outside protesting, okay, picketing the mine. This technique would be quite effective because the police would have their forces divided, giving the mass to the protesters and an inferior number to the police. Thatcher, to combat this, used MI5, Military Intelligence 5, one of the other many groups of military intelligence. It was number 5, where the others. We have number 6, and if you watch James Bond, there's number 12. But that aside, these are organizations used as counterintelligence, okay, from foreign powers. The Constitution, the idea of the British Constitution, is that you cannot use MI5 against its own citizens. Thatcher did. Phone tapping to understand the movements of the miners' union. Okay, you can get into the pros and cons of this being moral or not because of your ideology of government. However, morality stops when you have undercover policemen sitting in pubs waiting for the groups of young unemployed miners to arrive, okay, and then isolating young members, buying them drinks and feeding them hate talk about the police, okay, then marching down to the protest with them, okay, picking up sticks, stones, bricks and bottles on the way and inciting these people to throw them at the police. Okay, the policemen, who were the agents provocateurs in this case, didn't do anything against the police. They just lit the fuse. And that's what governments do. That's what police forces do against protesters. They make them look bad. What happened with Thatcher's case is you had all the television media there watching the event, and the miners were the bad guys. The police were the poor good guys. Okay? See what is behind the game. Why I'm pointing this out is because now possibly we're going to see some protests in America. Okay? And we should see protests, but the protests have to be organized correctly, and you have to be very careful of who attends those protests and how those protests are carried out. Personally, I think a much more drastic solution to the problem is necessary, which is everybody just stop. Okay? Make the machine stop. Just stop. Unfortunately, not everybody will stop because they're hooked on the consumeristic society. But they're playing a game with you. Don't believe me? Question it. Just one question going back to the G8. Just a little bit. Okay, I have on my channel page a documentary called Berlusconi's Mousetrap. Would be very interesting to see it, I believe. It's a lot of Italian spoken, but there are subtitles and narration from an Irish chap. Okay, it points out exactly one aspect of the game that's being played where protesters are concerned. As to the question, who is the guy wearing the yellow t-shirt and blue jeans? Yes.
Si rompono il cazzo, fan bene, vedi?